Skolnick. I'm a manager and curriculum specialist from the Franklin Institute, and we've been lucky enough to work with Bensalem School District on understanding the brain and how we can use that to maximize learning and memory in the classroom. So back in November, we invited all teachers, K through 3rd grade, to come down to the Franklin Institute to explore our Your Brain exhibit, which just opened this past summer in June, to learn about the brain and think about what does this mean for our teaching and learning in schools. And so we had a great first session with them down there, thinking very big picture about how the brain works, which areas of the brain are involved in learning and memory, how synapses work to form memories, and then big ideas to translate this into the classroom. So accessing prior knowledge, really emphasizing hands-on learning and engaging across multiple senses, and then lastly, revisiting ideas over time were sort of the 3 big ideas we emphasized when those teachers came down to the Franklin. And now I'm back here at Bensalem School District at Cornwells Elementary School to sort of take it to the next step and think about what are some other topics in neuroscience that relate to education and learning and memory. So today we've talked about curiosity, how curiosity is a really important tool in having kids learn more, and we have scientific evidence to support that. We've talked about how people learn better through touching and seeing things than simply hearing things, which is interesting to think about as teachers. And then lastly, taking breaks is really important, and being able to let our brains process and understand things without being focused and engaged all the time is really important for successful learning. We're also talking about social and emotional learning and how that's an important role in the classroom. And then today we have teacher representatives who are actually going to lead their peers in grade level conversations to talk about what does this mean for curriculum and learning at your particular grade level. So we're really excited to be partnering with the teachers and have this be a true partnership in really understanding what we know about the brain and neuroscience to improve our teaching practices.
You hit on a great point. And so repetition, I think what's the key to the memory for that is not the repetition, but the music. There is something very fundamental about our brains and music that it gets locked in. And researchers are still trying to figure out what is it about music that just is in there for life. You know, you'll hear a song on the radio from your teen years, and you can sing all the words to that song, and you haven't heard it for 15, 20 years, and suddenly it all comes rushing back to you. Researchers are trying to figure out what is it about music that gets so locked into our long-term memory. And actually, at the Franklin Institute, we're creating a new exhibit on music in the brain that I think may be traveling around, but it will at some point be at the museum. But I think that could even spawn into another professional development workshop potentially, is even just figuring out what is it about music. And teachers, as you know through your practice, songs work for some reason. And so even though I don't have all the evidence to explain kind of what's happening in your brain when you're listening to music, clearly we know there's some link to memory and that it is in an unexplained way just gets in there. So I would encourage it without kind of giving you all the reasons why, but there is something about music that sticks in our brains, and we should use that to our advantage. But we're going to be talking about taking breaks and learning. And right after we talk about this, you will get to take a break, so we have to actually practice what you're saying. All right, so this is my last portion for this section this morning. Do you think breaks help us learn? Yes. Why? Who wants to be brave and share why? Yes.
I think your brain time to digest and kind of go over what you've been talking about, listening to make more connections, into you letting it simmer.
Exactly, letting things simmer and process. We need a break away from focusing intently. Why else do you think breaks might be good for learning? For kids and adults, yeah. Sensory overload, too much at one time. And people have asked, I can't remember if this came up in our last brainstorming, but is there like a maximum for your brain where you just max out and there's nothing more that you can learn? And while memory-wise there may not be, focus-wise and attention-wise, there definitely is. There's a point at which we've all gotten to where it's like, I just cannot process anything else. I need a break. Absolutely. Yes? You need to move. You need to get your body moving. There's something to sitting too long just is not comfortable. We are not meant to do that. Absolutely. So we have short attention spans. And what I would actually argue, I think technology has made that even worse. I don't know how you all feel, but our brains are changing based on the way we use technology. We want to know something instantly, and if we can't find it, we're moving on. And I actually have worked in developing educational technology and things that we use online, and we cannot for the life of us expect anybody to read any words that we put in educational technology. People just don't read. Adults don't read, kids don't read. That's not the way we use things online. We want to click buttons. We want to get to what we need to know. And that's part of how we learn. Our focus is shorter. And what does that mean about breaks? Absolutely. Anything else people want to share about taking breaks? Yeah.
Kevin, they found that your memory also is helpful when you're sleeping, that there's all kinds of connections going on and you can think better. So those little breaks, I'll take it.
Yeah, so there's like a parallel between sleeping and taking breaks and what your brain is doing during those times and how might they be similar, and you're really onto something with that.
Hi, I'm Amanda Blazik. I teach 3rd grade, and at this professional development I'm looking forward to sharing a lot of brain breaks with my colleagues and incorporating that, because I know sometimes we get into the habit of we have to teach, but it's important to learn that the brain also needs a break.
Hi, my name is Janine Ritson. I am a primary teacher here in Bensalem School District. I've been teaching the primary grades for about 17 years. I'm really excited and looking forward to the partnership here between the Bensalem Township School District and the Franklin Institute. I think it's going to be a fabulous partnership, and I really look forward to taking back to my class some of the primary breaks, things that we can incorporate into our everyday learning, and sharing that information with my colleagues, and hopefully lighting that fire within those primary learners and getting all we can out of them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jen DeJour. I teach 1st grade at Cornwells Elementary School, and I'm hoping to get out of this and to share with other people that it's not about adding more to our workload, it's just about making things smarter and not harder.
This session is on social and emotional effects on learning. And I just want to tie back to some of the things that Julia said. There's a great saying that I've used, so I should step back and say I've been at the Franklin Institute for 26 years. So I have a long history of working primarily with adults who, as intermediaries, as connectors to children as learners. So work with Girl Scout leaders, librarians, teachers, parents, a lot of parents. So I've often shared this quote, which is considered to be, a very, very old quote. Tell me, I will forget. Show me, I will remember. Involve me, and I will understand. It's very old. It's something that I've said for a long time. I think it really captures what we're doing here. But I also want to call out the fact that this quote was developed, these sentences were developed before there was brain research. When we deal with brain science, we are dealing with the organ that makes us unique individuals, that gives us our personality, memories, emotions, dreams, creative abilities, and at times our sinister selves. The amygdala is the integrative center for emotions, emotional behavior, and motivation. So the fear responses, if we have aggression, if we panic, reproduction, social behavior, they're all physiological responses that are embedded in the amygdala, in the limbic system, which is part of the limbic system.
Hi, I'm Lauren Miller. I teach 3rd grade at Belmont Hills Elementary. I'm hoping to get out of this just ways to really be able to tap into my kids' curiosity in the way that the brain is triggered by being curious about something, and also about taking what already exists in our curriculum in the different content areas and really figure out how to make it more brain-based and really tap into the strengths of my students.
Hi, I'm Jackie Suggs, and I teach 2nd grade at Rush Elementary School, and I'm really excited today to work with the Franklin Institute on bringing more hands-on activities into my classroom to help my students better remember and retain the information I'm delivering.
Hi, I'm Kelly Johnson, and I teach 2nd grade. What I'm really looking forward to learning is how I can apply brain strategies to subject areas where my kids aren't typically up and moving around and getting those brain breaks. So in math and science, the kids are up and more engaged and moving around, whereas in social studies and reading, sometimes it's not as engaging. So that's what I'm looking forward to learning, how I really can engage my students more in those subjects areas.